All right, ready to dive in. We're tackling intermittent fasting and the keto diet today.
Two super hot topics for sure.
Tons of buzz. We've got articles from Everyday Health and Healthline, even a scientific paper about combining them.
Yeah, there's so much info out
It's
there.
overwhelming.
Right.
So today's deep dive mission, does combining keto and IF actually work? Or is it a recipe for a disaster?
I like that. A recipe for disaster.
But before we get to the combo, let's break down each diet, starting with keto.
Okay, so keto, fun fact, it wasn't originally for weight loss.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it was developed to manage epilepsy, especially in kids.
Yeah.
The idea is you switch your body's main fuel source from glucose, from carbs, to ketones, from fat.
Makes sense. So that's where the high fat part comes in.
Exactly, up to 80% of your daily calories from fat.
Wow, 80%. So like
Yeah.
tons of bacon, mountains of avocado.
Well, not exactly, but the fat is a key part, yeah.
Okay, so
Mm-mm.
what about all the claims about keto, helping with everything, cancer, diabetes?
Right. There's definitely growing interest there, but the research is still early.
So not a magic bullet.
No, not yet.
Okay. But what about the weight loss part? People see results, but is it sustainable?
That's the big question. People do lose weight quickly, but some say it's mostly water weight.
Okay. And, I mean, cutting out whole food groups.
Right. You have to be really careful about nutrient deficiencies.
Yeah, that makes sense. So
Yeah.
keto, more nuanced than just bacon and butter all day.
Definitely.
Okay. Let's move on to intermittent fasting, IFF. What is it exactly? Is it as complicated as it sounds?
Not really. It's more about when you eat, not what you eat.
Okay.
You cycle between periods of eating and fasting. There are a few different ways to do it.
Like that 5.2 plan. You restrict calories 2 days a week.
Exactly. But the most popular is 168. 16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating.
Okay. And the research on that is pretty convincing, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Not just for weight loss either. Reducing inflammation, improving brain function.
So it's not just about shrinking your waistline.
Not at all. Potentially, it's about improving overall health.
Interesting. But if AF can help with weight loss on its own, why even combine it with keto?
That's a great question. You see, both keto and IF, they both increase ketone levels.
Like
So the idea is combining them could enhance the effects.
a 1-2 punch?
Exactly. A 1-2 punch for fat burning and brain boosting.
Okay, that's where things got really interesting for me. Reading these articles, it almost sounds too good to be true. Is there any science to back it up?
There is some promising research. Yeah, especially for cognitive health.
Oh, interesting.
Remember that scientific paper you sent about keto and IF for managing chronic diseases?
Yeah.
They actually highlight neurological disorders as an area of particular interest.
Right. They mentioned that both keto and IF reduce inflammation, which could protect the brain. But how does that actually work? Is it just the ketones or
Mhm.
something else?
It's likely a combination of factors. Ketones themselves, they seem to be a more efficient fuel source for the brain.
More efficient than glucose.
Yeah, think of it like switching your car from gasoline to a cleaner burning fuel,
Okay, so it runs smoother.
and more efficiently.
Exactly.
I can picture that.
Huh.
So ketones provide cleaner energy for the brain. What about the role of IF? Does it just help the body get into ketosis faster? Or are there other benefits?
Intermittent fasting. It seems to have unique effects on brain health.
Really?
Studies suggest it can stimulate the growth of new brain cells, improve communication between neurons, and even enhance the brain's ability to adapt and learn.
Wow. So it's like a workout for the brain.
Yeah, you could say that, making it stronger and more flexible.
And combining that with the ketone boost from keto.
Right, it
Oh.
creates a sort of super brain effect.
Okay, now that's some serious potential. But
Right.
let's not get ahead of ourselves. This all sounds incredibly promising. But are we getting carried away with the hype?
Absolutely. We
Okay.
need to remember, research is still early. We need more long-term studies. And while the idea of boosting brain power with diet is exciting, we also need to be mindful of the risks.
Good point.
Yeah.
What are some downsides we should be aware of? One concern is nutrient deficiencies, especially with keto,
Okay.
severely restricting carbs. It can limit your intake of certain nutrients, important for brain health. And adding IF could increase that risk.
So it's crucial to work with a doctor,
Hmm.
maybe a registered dietitian.
Absolutely, to make sure you're getting everything your body needs.
Yeah. And I imagine there are other potential risks too.
Certainly. The long-term effects of combining keto and IF, particularly for brain health, are largely unknown.
So we need more research.
We do, to determine if these benefits are sustainable over time.
Makes sense. It seems like there's still a lot we don't know, but the potential benefits are definitely worth exploring, with caution and proper guidance, of course. But even while the research on keto and IF for brain health continues, what are some other things we can do to support our cognitive well-being right now?
There are plenty of things you can do, regardless of your diet.
Like
A
what?
balanced diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, and healthy fats. It's a great foundation. Regular exercise is also crucial. Improves blood flow to the brain, stimulates the growth of new brain cells.
Right, those are important. But what about keeping the brain mentally stimulated? Does that really make a difference?
Absolutely. Engaging in activities that challenge your brain, like learning new skills, playing brain games, or even just having stimulating conversations.
Right.
It can help keep your mind sharp. And don't underestimate the importance of sleep.
Sleep.
During sleep, your brain clears out toxins, consolidates memories.
So get those zzz. And speaking of things that can harm the brain, what about stress?
Chronic stress
Yeah.
can have detrimental effects on brain health. Finding healthy ways to manage stress, like meditation, yoga, or spending time in nature, it can protect your brain from damage.
Great tips. So even while research on keto and IF continues, we can all take steps to support our cognitive well-being right now. It's a holistic approach.
Precisely. But before we get too carried away, with all the brain-boosting potential of keto and IF, we need to circle back to a crucial point: individualization. Just because these approaches might have some exciting benefits, doesn't mean they're right for everyone.
So true. What works for one person might not work for another.
Exactly. We need to consider individual health conditions, lifestyle factors, and even personal preferences before jumping on any dietary bandwagon.
Yeah,
We'll explore those factors in part 3 of this deep dive. We'll also talk about the importance of personalized guidance and leave you with some final food for thought. Stay tuned.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential benefits and the risks of combining keto and IF. And it seems like this combo, it can be powerful,
Yeah.
but also pretty complex. So how do you figure out if it's right for you?
It really comes down to personalized decision-making. It's not about following trends. It's about finding what works best for your body or lifestyle.
It's like fewer. Finding the right key for a very specific lock. The key that unlocks better health for you. So where do you even start?
The most important step: talking to your doctor. Hands down.
Okay.
They can assess your overall health,
Mhm.
consider any existing conditions, medications, and help you weigh the risks and benefits.
It's like getting a professional opinion before making a big investment.
Exactly. You want to make sure it's the right move. And it's not just about physical health either. Your mental and emotional well-being,
Okay.
those play a huge role.
Right. If you're already stressed or have a complicated relationship with food.
Adding restrictive diets could backfire.
That's a good point. Sometimes the pressure to be healthy, it can actually lead to more stress.
Exactly. It defeats the purpose.
So it's about finding a balance.
Yeah, listening to your body and your mind.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's where a registered dietitian can help, right?
Absolutely. They can help you figure out the specifics, how to actually implement keto and IF in a way that fits your lifestyle, your preferences, your nutritional needs.
So they're like a personalized guide.
Yeah. Exactly. They can help you personalize those carb, protein, and fat ratios. For optimal ketosis, make sure you're getting all the essential nutrients, and even provide meal planning support.
That's great. So even though we've been talking about keto and IF as a combo, you can start with just one, right?
Absolutely. You could start with keto, for example, see how you feel before adding IF.
Okay. And if at any point you're feeling overwhelmed or like it's just not working,
You can always reach out for help or adjust the plan.
flexibility is key.
Exactly. It's about finding what works for you, not forcing yourself into a rigid box.
So what does this all mean for our listeners? It seems like keto and IF, individually or together, they could offer some pretty amazing benefits, but they're not a one-size-fits-all solution.
That's the bottom line. Before you jump in, talk to your doctor. Consider working with a registered dietitian. And remember, this is a journey of self-discovery.
It's about finding what fuels your body and mind and helps you thrive.
Exactly. And as a final food for thought, even without IF, could keto alone be a tool for managing prediabetes or even supporting brain health? It's something to ponder and discuss with your healthcare team.
That's a great point. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It was my pleasure.